Commander Bradford stood in the observation deck of the human fleet carrier and looked out at the endless darkness of space. Stars filled the black sky like diamonds on black cloth. He had been a soldier for 20 years, and he knew what danger looked like. Today felt different. Something was coming. The radio operator, a young man named, ran into the observation deck with panic in his eyes. His hands shook as he held a data pad. He was breathing hard, and sweat covered his forehead. "Sir, we have a problem," said. His voice was loud and sharp. Turned from the window, he was tall and strong, with gray hair and a hard face. Years of war had taught him to stay calm when others panicked. "What is it?" asked. Held out the data pad. On the screen there was a message. The message was old. It was very old. The code was from the Galactic Council, the group of aliens that ruled most of the galaxy. The Council was powerful and smart, with weapons and technology that humans did not have. But the message was not what the Council usually sent. This message was a cry for help. "This came in 5 minutes ago," said. "We had to break through 17 layers of encryption to read it. Sir, they are asking for military help. They are under attack." Read the message with care. The words were clear. The Void Collective, a group of alien invaders, was destroying Council worlds. The Council's weapons had failed. The Council was losing the war. This should have been impossible. The Council had weapons that could destroy planets. They had ships that moved faster than human ships. They had technology that humans did not understand. Yet the message said they were dying. "Have other ships received this message?" asked. "Yes, sir. We sent it to the main command center on Earth. Admiral Hayes is reading it now. We also sent it to the Martian base and the orbital stations. The message went everywhere." Nodded, he knew Hayes. She was smart and tough. She had been a soldier since she was young. If anyone could make a hard choice, it would be Hayes. The radio crackled to life. It was Hayes herself. "Bradford, are you there?" Her voice came through the speakers. She sounded strong and sure. "I am here, Admiral," said. "I am calling a war council. I want you here in 1 hour. We need to talk about what this message means. We need to talk about what we do next. Bring your best officers." "Yes, Admiral," said. The connection ended, looked at. "Send a message to all ship captains. Tell them to get ready for orders. Tell them we might be going to war. And do not tell anyone else about this message yet. We need to wait for the Admiral." Left the observation deck. Went back to the window and looked out at the stars again. He thought about what the message meant. The Galactic Council was afraid. The Council did not get afraid. The Council was the most powerful force in the galaxy. If they were asking for help, then something very bad was happening. An hour later was in the war room with Admiral Hayes and 12 other officers. The room was cold and bright. Maps of the galaxy covered the walls. Ships were marked on the maps with different colors. Green meant friendly. Red meant enemy. Right now, most of the map was green. The humans only had a small part of space. Hayes stood at the front of the room. She was older than, with short gray hair and hard eyes. She had commanded ships and fleets for 30 years. She knew how to fight. "The Galactic Council sent an emergency signal," Hayes said. She pointed to a part of space on the map. Red marks appeared, showing where the Void Collective was attacking. "The Void Collective is destroying their worlds. The Council is losing. They are asking for military help from any civilization that can help them." "Why would the Council ask us?" asked Captain David Sterling. He was in charge of one of the biggest human warships. "We are new to space. We are not strong enough to help them." "That is what I thought," Hayes said. "But I have looked at the numbers. The Council has more ships than the Collective. The Council has better weapons, yet the Collective is still winning. Something is not right." An older officer named Colonel William Grant spoke up. "Maybe the Collective has a new weapon. Maybe they have something that the Council's weapons cannot stop." "That is possible," Hayes said. "But here is what we know. The Council is asking for help. They would not ask unless they needed us. And if the Council needs help, then this is our moment. This is the moment when humans can show that we are not weak. This is the moment when we can become important in the galaxy." The room was quiet. The officers understood what Hayes was saying. If humans went to war and won, everything would change. Humans would have respect. Humans would have power. But if humans went to war and lost, everything would end. "I am going to take the fleet," Hayes said. "We will go to the Council's worlds. We will fight the Void Collective. We will stop them." Admiral said, "That is a big risk. The Collective might destroy us." Yes, Hayes said. They might. But if we do nothing, the Council will be destroyed, and then the Collective will come for us. We are on the edge of the galaxy, and the Collective will see us as easy targets. Better to fight now when the Council is still strong than to fight alone later. Thought about this? Hayes was right. If they did nothing, the Collective would event the fleet arrived at the planet after 40 days of travel through space. Was a strange world. It was made of crystal, and the crystal reflected light in ways that hurt the eyes. The planet was beautiful and dangerous at the same time. But there was no time to look at beauty. As the human ships came closer, they could see other ships in the sky. These ships were not the crystal ships of the Galactic Council. These were dark ships. These were the ships of the Void Collective. Commander Bradford was in his fighter plane, ready to fight. His hands were steady as he looked at the radar screen. He could see the Collective ships moving around the planet. They were huge. They were black and gray, and they had weapons that pointed down at the world below. The radio crackled. "Sir, this is Admiral Hayes," came the voice. "All ships are in position. We have 17 fighters ready to launch. Ground troops are prepared. Are you ready for the attack?" Looked at the Collective ships again. He had studied their ships during the flight. They had strong shields and powerful weapons, but had noticed something. The ships had a pattern. They always moved in the same way. They attacked the same targets. They followed rules. Humans could break rules. Humans could do things that machines and computers could not do. "I am ready," Admiral said. "Let me suggest something. The Collective ships follow a pattern. Every 20 seconds they turn to attack the northern part of the planet. For those 20 seconds their rear shields are weak. If we attack from behind, we can do real damage." "Understood," Hayes said. "Launch your fighters, use Bradford's pattern." Pushed his fighter forward. The plane moved fast, faster than anything the Collective had. His hands moved on the controls. His eyes watched the radar. The Collective ships turned just like he knew they would. For 20 seconds their shields pointed down. For 20 seconds they were weak. Fired his weapons. The laser hit the dark ship and part of the shield broke. The Collective ship tried to turn, but it was too slow. Human fighters were faster. Humans had grown up on a world with strong gravity. Humans had learned to move fast and think fast. Their bodies could handle the hard moves that would kill other aliens. 10 Collective ships were hit. 2 of them were destroyed. The others fired back, but the human fighters were moving too fast. The fighters went down, went up, went left, went right. The Collective could not hit them. But the Collective could do other things. They sent more ships. 50 ships came from the clouds above the planet. The sky became black with ships. "We have incoming," shouted who was flying next to. "Lots of them, lots of them." Pushed his fighter to the side. A laser hit the space where he had been 1 second before. Another laser came from the left, moved his plane down. The heat from the laser burned his shoulder, but the laser did not destroy his ship. "Keep moving," shouted. "Do not give them a clean shot, keep moving." Around him, other human fighters fought the Collective ships. Some human fighters were destroyed. The pilots died. But the human fighters also destroyed Collective ships. For every human fighter that died, 2 Collective ships were destroyed. On the ground, the Council's soldiers were fighting too. They had strong weapons, but they did not know how to fight with courage. They fought from far away. They wanted to stay safe. The Collective knew this, and the Collective used it against them. But then something changed. Admiral Hayes sent down the human ground troops. The human soldiers landed on the ground in fast ships. They ran out of the ships with guns and weapons. They were not afraid to run close to the enemy. They were not afraid to look the enemy in the eyes. Lieutenant Owen led the first group of human soldiers. He was young, only 30 years old, but he had been a soldier since he was 18. He knew how to fight. He knew how to lead. "Move forward," shouted to his soldiers. "Do not stop, do not look back. The Collective expects us to be weak. The Collective expects us to run, but we will not run. We will fight. We will win." The human soldiers moved forward. They shot at the Collective soldiers. They threw things that exploded. They used weapons that the Collective did not understand, and they were not afraid to die. The Collective soldiers stopped moving forward. They had never seen aliens fight like this. The Collective came from worlds where everyone followed rules. Everyone did what they were told. Everyone was the same. But humans were different. Humans wanted to live, but humans also wanted to win. Humans wanted to protect each other. Humans would die for their friends. After 4 hours of fighting, the Void Collective ships left the sky. They moved up and away from the planet. The remaining collective ships left the battle. They turned toward the darkness of space. The humans had won. In the sky above, Bradford flew his fighter toward the human fleet. His shoulder hurt from the laser burn. His hands shook from the hard fighting. His heart was beating fast. But he was alive, and they had won. When got back to the fleet carrier, Admiral Hayes was waiting for him. She was smiling. "You did good work out there, Bradford," she said. "You understood how the enemy fights, you found their weakness, and you did not stop fighting until the battle was done." "Thank you," Admiral said. "But this is just the start," Hayes said. "The Collective has many more ships. The Collective has many more worlds to attack. This battle was small. The real battles are coming." Nodded, he knew Hayes was right. One small planet had been saved. But many other planets were 3 weeks after the battle the fleet had fought in 5 more battles. Each battle was harder than the last. The Void Collective was learning. The Collective was changing the way they fought, but the humans were learning faster. Commander Bradford understood something that the Council did not understand. The Collective had better weapons. The Collective had more ships, but the Collective fought in only one way. The Collective did the same things over and over. The Collective followed rules. Humans did not follow rules. Humans could do unexpected things. Humans could change plans in the middle of a battle. Humans could think of new ideas when the old ideas did not work. This was because humans grew up on Earth. Earth was a hard place to live. The weather was bad. The animals were dangerous. Food was hard to find. Humans had to be clever to survive. Humans had to be fast. Humans had to be able to change and adapt. On the planet, there was a terrible problem. The Void Collective had surrounded a city full of innocent people. There were 10,000 children in the city. There were 20,000 mothers and fathers. The Council's soldiers could not help them. The Council's weapons could not reach the Collective's forces without hurting the people inside the city. Admiral Hayes called for Lieutenant Owen. Was the human who had fought so well on? He was brave. He was smart. He understood how to think like a hunter, like a warrior. "We need to save these people," Hayes said. "The Council says it is impossible. The Council says the Void Collective has them surrounded. The Council says that any attack will cause the Collective to kill the innocent people." "How many Collective soldiers are there?" asked. 5,000, Hayes said. "How many human soldiers do we have?" asked. 2,000, Hayes said. "That is why the Council says it is impossible. We do not have enough soldiers. We cannot win this fight." Looked at the map. He studied the ground around the city. He looked at where the Collective soldiers were standing. He looked at the terrain, the hills, the valleys, the open space. And then smiled. "We can win," he said, "but we will have to be brave." "What do you mean?" Hayes asked. "The Collective surrounds the city, but they do not know humans," said. "The Collective thinks that soldiers follow rules. The Collective thinks that soldiers are afraid to die. The Collective expects us to attack from far away, using weapons, killing from a distance." "Yes," Hayes said. "But humans are different," said. "Humans do not need to be safe. Humans can run toward danger. Humans can look death in the eyes and not blink. The Collective will not expect us to run straight at them. The Collective will break apart in fear." Hayes looked at for a long time. She was trying to understand if he was right. "How many of us will die?" she asked. "Many," said. "Maybe half, maybe more." "And you are still willing to do this?" "Yes," said. "Because if we do not try, all 10,000 children will die. We can save them. It will be hard. It will be painful. People will die. But we can do it." Hayes nodded. She had never understood this about humans before. Humans would rather die trying than live knowing they did nothing. The next morning led 2,000 human soldiers toward the city. They ran. They did not hide. They did not use weapons from far away. They ran straight toward the Void Collective army. The Collective soldiers had never seen anything like this. The Collective had been programmed to fight in a certain way. When humans ran toward them, the Collective did not know what to do. The human soldiers were closer than expected. They were faster than the Collective thought possible. The humans were screaming and yelling. The humans did not seem afraid. The Collective soldiers started to break. They started to run. And as soldiers pushed through the Collective lines, they fought with close weapons. They fought with their hands. They fought because children needed to be saved. 1,000 human soldiers were killed. They died to save those children, but they did save them. The 2,000 human soldiers pushed through the collective army and reached the city. They brought the children out. They brought the mothers and fathers out. They got everyone out and to safety. When the battle was done, was standing in the dust, covered in blood. His uniform was torn, his face was burned, his left arm was hurt, but he was alive. The council's leaders came to see him. They came to thank him. They had never seen a soldier like before. They had never seen someone willing to die for strangers. "Why did you do this?" asked the council's leader, a being named Sector Prime. Sector Prime had gray skin and many arms. Sector Prime was very old and very wise. "Because they needed help," said. "Because children needed to be saved. This is what humans do. We protect the young, we protect the weak. We do not calculate the cost, we just do it." Sector Prime looked at with eyes that were full of surprise. "On our world, soldiers follow orders," Sector Prime said. "Soldiers calculate risk. Soldiers do not die for strangers." "Humans are different," said. Over the next 2 weeks, Admiral Hayes used this understanding. She sent human soldiers into places where no other soldiers would go. She sent them to save people. She sent them to protect the innocent. And everywhere the humans went, they won. The Void Collective did not understand. The collective thought that humans were just lucky. The collective thought that humans were using tricks. But the truth was different. Humans were winning because they understood something that no one else. Admiral Hayes looked at the data on her screen. For 6 weeks, the fleet had been fighting the Void Collective. The humans had won many battles. The humans had saved many worlds, but the collective was still strong. The collective still had many ships. Hayes understood something that was important. In every battle, the collective had used the same strategy. They surrounded their targets. They attacked from all sides. They used their numbers to crush their enemies. This happened again and again. The collective always did the same thing. Hayes called her top officers together. Commander Bradford was there. Captain David Sterling was there. Lieutenant Owen was there. Many others were there. "I have been watching the collective," Hayes said. "I have studied every battle we have fought. The collective is not changing. The collective is doing the same thing every time. The collective expects this strategy to work because their weapons are strong." "What are you saying, Admiral?" asked. "I am saying we can trap them," Hayes said. "The collective's leader is a being called the War Master. The War Master is moving toward the planet. The War Master is going to attack in 3 days. I have intelligence about where the collective is going. I know what the War Master is doing." Hayes pointed to a map of space. She showed the place where the Void Collective would be. "We are going to let the War Master think he is going to win," Hayes said. "We are going to move our ships in a way that looks weak. We are going to let the War Master see that he has us surrounded. The War Master will think he can destroy us. He will come for us with all his ships." "That is a huge risk," said Captain Sterling. "Yes," Hayes said. "But when the War Master comes, we will be ready. We will have ships hidden in other places. We will attack from directions he does not expect. We will use human speed and human thinking. We will not fight the way he thinks we will fight." Smiled, he understood what Hayes was doing. "You are going to make him angry," said. "You are going to make him attack in a way that is not safe. You are going to break his pattern." "Exactly," Hayes said. "The Void Collective is strong, but the War Master is proud. Pride is a weakness. We will use that weakness against them." 3 days later, the Void Collective's fleet came toward the system. The War Master had 2,000 ships. The fleet had only 300 ships. To the War Master, this seemed like an easy victory. But the human ships were not where the War Master thought they would be. They had moved in the night. They had hidden near asteroids and around moons. When the collective entered the system, the human ships were already surrounding them. The battle lasted for 12 hours. The War Master sent his ships to attack in every direction. The human ships attacked from places the War Master did not see. Captain David Sterling was in command of the largest human warship. He had hidden his ship in the shadow of a large moon. When the collective fleet moved, Sterling moved too. He attacked the center of the collective army. The collective ships turned to fight Sterling's ship. While the collective was busy fighting Sterling, other human ships attacked from the side. The collective ships had to turn again. While they were turning, more human ships attacked from another direction. The Void Collective had bigger weapons and more ships, but they were slow. They had to think about their moves. They had to follow the War Master's commands. This took time. Humans were faster. Humans could change direction in seconds. Humans could see what was happening and change their plan immediately. The battle turned against the Void Collective. Captain Sterling's ship was badly hurt. The Collective was attacking him from many directions. His shields were breaking. His weapons were overheating, but Sterling did not stop. He pushed his ship forward. He moved toward the Collective's main command ship. "Take us in," he said to his pilot. "We are going to ram the command ship if we have to." "Yes, sir," the pilot said. The pilot was a woman named Anna. She was young, only 26 years old. She had been a pilot for 3 years, but she was not afraid. Anna moved the ship fast. She went through the Collective formation. She avoided the attacks. She got close to the Collective's main ship. When they were close enough, Sterling ordered his soldiers to do something that had never been done before. He sent soldiers in small ships to board the Collective's command ship. These soldiers had weapons, but their main job was to cause chaos. The soldiers broke into the Collective's computer centers. They broke into the communication rooms. They made it so the War Master could not talk to his ships. Without communication, the Collective fleet fell apart. Ships did not know what to do. Ships crashed into other ships. Ships tried to escape but did not know where to go. The fleet pushed deeper into the Collective formation. Ships were destroyed. Collective soldiers died. But the Void Collective was also destroying human ships. Many human soldiers died. But at the end, the Void Collective was broken. The War Master's ship tried to escape, but Sterling's ship was in the way. The War Master had to choose between fighting or running. The War Master ran. For the first time in the war, the Void Collective was in complete defeat. They lost most of their ships in that one battle. They lost thousands of soldiers. They lost the belief that they were unbeatable. After the battle, the soldiers cleaned the bodies from the ships. They counted the dead. 400 human soldiers died in that battle, but 1,300 Void Collective soldiers died. When the battle was finished, Admiral Hayes came to see Captain Sterling. Sterling was sitting in a medical room. Doctors were treating his burns and his broken bones. "You did well," Hayes said. "You did something I have never seen before. You defeated an enemy that had more ships and more weapons." "We did it together," Sterling said. "All of us. The pilots, the soldiers, the engineers, we all did our part." "But you were the one who had courage," Hayes said. "You were the one who took the biggest risk." Sterling looked at Hayes. "That is what humans do," he said. "We take risks. We do hard things. We do not calculate if we will die. We just do what needs to be done." Hayes nodded. She was beginning to understand what humans really were. Humans were not just good at fighting. Humans were brave in a way that other aliens could not understand. Humans did hard things because it was right, not because it was safe. The Void Collective soldiers that the humans captured told stories that surprised everyone. When the doctors asked the Collective soldiers questions, the soldiers told the truth. They could not lie. The Collective was made this way. The Collective soldiers said that their leaders knew about humans. The Collective leaders had information about Earth. They knew that humans came from a harsh world. They knew that humans were strong and fast. But the Collective leaders had made a big mistake. They thought that because humans came from a harsh world, humans were primitive. The Collective leaders thought that humans were like animals. The Collective leaders thought that humans would be easy to defeat. This mistake had cost the Void Collective thousands of soldiers and hundreds of ships. Admiral Hayes sat in a room with 3 captured Collective soldiers. The soldiers had blue skin and 4 eyes. They looked nothing like humans, but they could speak human language. "Why did you come to this galaxy?" Hayes asked. "We were told to come," said one soldier. "We were told to take all the worlds. We were told to destroy anyone who resisted." "Did you know humans lived in this galaxy?" Hayes asked. "Yes," the soldier said. "Our leaders had information about humans. They said humans were weak. They said humans would not fight hard. They said humans would surrender or run away." "Why did your leaders think this?" Hayes asked. "Because humans lived on a death world," the soldier said. "Death worlds make their people weak," our leaders said. "Death worlds do not have enough resources. Death worlds do not develop strong technology. We thought you would be easy to defeat." Hayes smiled. It was not a happy smile. "Your leaders were wrong," she said. "Death worlds do not make people weak. Death worlds make people strong. My people learn to survive on a world where everything tries to kill you. This teaches you to be fast. This teaches you to think quickly. This teaches you to never give up." The soldier was quiet. The soldier was thinking about what Hayes said. "We are beginning to understand this now," the soldier said. "Every battle you do something we do not expect. Every battle you find new ways to fight. Every battle you win even when you should lose. This is not luck. This is because you are different from us." Commander Bradford was promoted to Admiral after the Turning Point battle. Admiral Hayes wanted him to lead the next phase of the war. The humans and the Council were going to attack the Void Collective directly. They were going to hunt the Collective across the galaxy. When Hayes told Bradford about his promotion, she also told him something important. "I have been studying the Collective since we arrived," Hayes said. "I have learned why they fight the way they do. The Collective was programmed to follow rules and patterns. The Collective was built by their creators to be perfect soldiers, but perfect is not the same as smart." "What do you mean?" Bradford asked. "Perfect means doing the same thing in the same way every time," Hayes said. "Smart means being able to change and adapt. You are smart, Bradford, you and all the humans. You can see a problem and find a new answer. The Collective cannot do this." Bradford nodded. "What is our strategy for the next battles?" he asked. "We are going to get close to them," Hayes said. "We are going to board their ships. We are going to fight them hand to hand. We are going to use the things that humans are best at. We are going to use courage, speed, and the ability to make fast decisions." "That is dangerous," Bradford said. "Yes," Hayes said. "Many of us will die, but we will also win." A week later, Bradford called a meeting with the Galactic Council's leaders. The leaders of 30 different species came to the meeting. They looked very different from each other. Some had many arms, some had no arms, some could breathe water, some could breathe only air. But they all had one thing in common. They all knew that humans had saved them. Sector Prime, the oldest council leader, stood up and spoke. "We came to this meeting thinking that humans were like us," Sector Prime said. "We thought that humans were aliens from another world who would help us because we asked. But humans are not like us. Humans are something different. Humans are something special." The other leaders nodded. "Humans were born on a harsh world," Sector Prime continued. "This world taught humans to value life in ways we do not value life. This world taught humans to protect children and the weak without thinking about it. This world taught humans to never surrender." Sector Prime looked at Admiral Bradford. "We want to ask something," Sector Prime said. "We want to ask if humans will join us, not just for this war, but forever. We want humans to be part of the Galactic Council. We want humans to be our partners and our friends." Bradford was surprised. He had not expected this. "I need to ask Admiral Hayes," Bradford said. "This is a choice that goes beyond the war." That evening, Bradford asked Hayes what she thought. "This is what I wanted," Hayes said. "I wanted the galaxy to understand that humans are not weak. The Void Collective made a final choice. The War Master decided to throw everything at the Council's home world. The Collective had 3,000 ships left. The War Master knew this was not enough to defeat the Human Council alliance completely. But the War Master wanted to destroy something. The War Master wanted to show that the Collective was still strong. The Collective's fleet moved toward the Council's capital planet. The planet was called Sector Prime Prime, named after the old leader who had lived there for thousands of years. Admiral Hayes was waiting. The Human Council Alliance had prepared a perfect defense. They had studied the Collective's patterns. They knew how the War Master would attack. They had placed their ships in positions where the Collective could not see them. When the Void Collective fleet entered the system, the War Master thought he had the advantage. The Collective had 3,000 ships. The Human Council Alliance had 800 ships. The Collective should have one. But the Collective did not understand what they were walking into. Admiral Bradford was in his fighter plane. He looked at the radar. He could see the Collective ships coming. He could see their patterns. He could see exactly where they were going to move. "All units," Bradford said into the radio. "Stay hidden. Do not fire. Let them come closer. When I give the order, we attack from all directions at the same time." The Collective ships came closer. They came closer and closer. The War Master was confident. The War Master thought he would destroy the Council's home world and kill the humans. When the Collective ships were in the center of the Human Council formation, Bradford gave the order. "Fire," he said. Everything happened at once. Ships appeared from behind asteroids. Ships came from the far side of planets. Ships came from places that the Collective did not know existed. The Collective was surrounded. The battle lasted for 18 hours. Humans and Council aliens fought together. The humans flew their fast fighters into the collective formation. The humans boarded collective ships and fought hand to hand. The humans showed no fear. The humans showed no hesitation. The Council ships attacked from far away with their powerful weapons. The Council ships destroyed collective ships that could not escape. Together, the humans and Council made a perfect team. The humans brought speed and courage. The Council brought power and technology. The collective tried to fight back, but they were trapped. The collective tried to escape, but there was nowhere to go. The collective tried to call for help, but no help was coming. During the battle, Admiral Bradford made a decision. The War Master was still on his command ship. The command ship was moving toward the Council's capital planet. If the command ship reached the planet, it might still cause huge damage. Bradford took his fastest fighter. He pushed the fighter to its maximum speed. He flew directly at the War Master's ship. "Sir, this is too dangerous," shouted the radio operator. "You should not go alone. This is a suicide mission." "I am not going to die," Bradford said. "I am going to do what needs to be done." Bradford flew straight at the command ship. The ship fired at him, but Bradford moved his fighter in ways the War Master had never seen before. The fighters from Earth could do things that other ships could not do. The fighters could turn hard and move fast. The fighters could survive in ways that seemed impossible. Bradford got close to the command ship. He aimed his plane at the ship's communication center. He set his plane to crash directly into the center. "I am out of here," he said. He ejected from his fighter just before it crashed. The fighter hit the command ship and exploded. The explosion destroyed the communication center. The explosion also destroyed the navigation center. The War Master could no longer talk to his ships. The War Master could no longer tell his ships what to do. Bradford floated in space in his survival suit. A Council ship picked him up. He was safe. Without communication, the Void collective fleet fell apart. Ships crashed into each other. Ships moved in the wrong directions. Ships fought each other because they did not know what was happening. The War Master's ship, with its broken systems and damaged weapons, tried to escape. The ship moved toward the dark space between stars. They ran. The War Master ran away from the battle. When the battle ended, the humans and Council had won. Hundreds of collective ships were destroyed. Thousands of collective soldiers were dead. The remaining collective fleet was scattered and broken. The War Master was gone. The Void collective was defeated. After the battle, Admiral Hayes called everyone together. There was a big celebration on the Council's capital planet. Humans and aliens stood together and looked at what they had done. The Galactic Council declared that humans were no longer outsiders. Humans were now part of the Council. Humans would be partners and protectors of the galaxy. Technology was shared, knowledge was shared, but more than that, humans and aliens became friends. A young alien child came to see Admiral Bradford. The child was from the planet that Owen had saved. The child wanted to thank Bradford. "Thank you for saving us," the child said. "You do not need to thank me," Bradford said. "We humans believe that all children are important. All children deserve to live. This is why we fought." The child looked at Bradford with eyes that were full of wonder. "On our worlds, children are important only if their parents are important," the child said. "You will die for children you do not know." "Yes," Bradford said, "that is what humans do." Admiral Hayes stood on the observation deck of her ship. She looked out at the peaceful galaxy. Below her ship, the capital planet was safe. The people were safe. The children were safe. A young pilot named came to stand next to her. "What do you think happens now?" asked. "Now," Hayes said, "humanity grows. We have shown the galaxy what we are. We have shown them that humans are worth respecting. We have shown them that being born on a harsh world does not make you weak. It makes you strong." "Do you think the Void Collective will come back?" asked. "Maybe," Hayes said. "But if they do, the galaxy will be ready, and humans will be there to fight alongside our friends." Behind them, humans and aliens worked together on the ship. They fixed the damage from the battle. They became friends. They learned from each other. On Earth, people heard the news. Humans had been part of the galaxy for less than 1 year, and already humans had become heroes. Already humans had changed everything. Humans were no longer outsiders in the galaxy. Humans were no longer weak. Humans were recognized as something special. Humans were recognized as the protectors of the innocent. The message went out across Earth and across the entire galaxy. Do not underestimate the humans from Earth. Do not think they are weak because they come from a harsh world. Humans are strong. Humans are brave. Humans will fight for those they love. Humans will never surrender. Humans will never give up. And when humans fight, they win. The story of the fleet spread across the galaxy. The story was told by aliens who had seen humans fight. The story was told by aliens who had watched humans do impossible things. The galaxy had tried to understand humans, and the galaxy had failed. The galaxy thought humans were primitive. The galaxy thought humans were weak. But the galaxy was wrong. Humans were the strongest species in the galaxy, not because of their weapons, not because of their technology, but because of who they were. Humans were strong because they would die for each other. Humans were strong because they valued life. Humans were strong because they never surrendered. And that made humans something that no one in the galaxy had ever seen before. That made humans truly unstoppable. Anteed the galaxy to understand that humans are dangerous, but in a good way. We are dangerous to evil things. We are dangerous to those who hurt the innocent. We are good in ways that machines and protocols cannot be good. So we should say yes, Bradford asked. We should say yes, Hayes said. But we should also finish this war first. We should show the galaxy that humans keep their promises. We said we would defeat the Void Collective. We will do that. And then humans will be respected throughout the galaxy. Bradford went back to the meeting and told the council leaders that humans would join them. The other aliens cheered. They understood that with humans as their partners, they would win this war. That night, humans and aliens worked together to plan the final assault on the Void Collective. The humans showed the aliens how to fight with courage and speed. The aliens showed the humans how to use advanced technology in new ways. Together, they were going to defeat the Void Collective. Together, they were going to show that the galaxy belonged to those who were brave enough to protect the innocent. That night, the War Master looked at his remaining ships from his escape vessel. He had 1,000 ships left. Before the battle, he had 2,000. The human fleet had only lost 50 ships. They still had 250 ships. The War Master understood something terrible. The humans were not just lucky. The humans were dangerous. The humans could think in ways that no other species could think. The War Master was afraid. The War Master was beginning to understand that he could lose this war. Understood. Humans understood that when you grow up on a hard world, you become strong in ways that weapons cannot measure. Humans were strong in their hearts. Humans were strong in their spirits. Humans were strong because they would die for each other and for strangers. And that made them unstoppable. Burning. In the city below, the council's leaders looked up at the sky. They had seen the human fighters. They had seen the human soldiers. They saw that the Void Collective had run away. They did not understand yet. They did not know what humans really were. They thought that maybe the humans had been lucky. They thought that maybe the humans had used tricks and surprises. They did not know that this was just the beginning. They did not know what the humans from the harsh world of Earth could really do. Come for Earth. I will go with you, Admiral said. I will take my ship and my crew. We will fight. One by one, the other officers agreed. They would go to war. They would fight for the Galactic Council. Hayes smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who knew that many people would die. We leave in 3 days, Hayes said. Every ship will be ready. Every weapon will be loaded. Every soldier will be trained and ready. The fleet will show the galaxy what humans can do. As the officers left the war room, stayed behind. He looked at the map again. He saw the red marks where the Void Collective was attacking. He saw the green marks where the Council's worlds were dying. He thought about the young soldiers who would be on his ship. Many of them were just kids, 20 years old, 22 years old. They had never seen real war. They had never seen people die. But they would soon. In 3 days, the fleet would leave Earth. And when they reached the Council's worlds, everything would change. The galaxy was about to learn what it meant to anger the humans from the harsh world called Earth.